also single-use plastic.
In a bid to reduce waste and plastic pollution.
This black single-use plastic is particularly tricky.
Now, plastic pollution has been headline news for a couple of years.
The UK have been at the forefront when it comes to spreading awareness about plastic pollution, but it's more than just plastic bottles. I'm going on a journey along the south coast to find out about the plastics we don't often hear about, discover how much our home waters are affected, and see what people are doing about it. As an ocean lover, I was sad to find out that over 43,000 kilograms of litter has been picked up from south coast beaches so far in 2018, with the majority of it being plastic. From those plastics, 30% is from the public, such as food packaging, and just under 10% is from the sewers, such as cotton buds. I want to know about the other 60%. The biggest issue with plastic pollution is the devastating effect it has on marine life. This is something wildlife rescuer Dan Jarvis knows all too well, as he dedicates his life protecting one species in particular, the grey seal.
In the UK we have up to 40% of the world's grey seals just around our shores, particularly here in southwest England. It's one of their stronghold areas, and potentially up to 5% of our seal population around southwest England is or has been affected by entanglement at some point in their life. So really, for dealing with this kind of the problem, sadly, I couldn't be in a better place in the world to be doing this. Got it.
Buddy, we're trying to help, mate. We're just helping.
And it's one frequently occurring plastic which Dan and his team keep finding the seals entangled in.
It's going to be a bit stingy.
In the last year we've had more calls than we've had in previous years to animals that have been entangled in marine litter. This is mostly plastic pieces of net, old fishing gear. Often we do find injuries, unfortunately, as well. This is where the net has cut into the animal.
Fishing nets can take up to 600 years to biodegrade in the marine environment, and in that time it can kill and injure a number of animals.
It just is really frustrating to be in that kind of position where you know you're never going to win, really. Not in my lifetime, probably not in the lifetime of our grandchildren are we going to see an end to this kind of problem, because there is so much litter in our oceans.
I'm just really shocked and saddened that he's gone on more call-outs than ever before, and these fishermen need to take more responsibility for their actions and know that just discarding their nets is causing serious damage to the marine environment. Entanglement isn't the only thing hurting wildlife. Over a third of fish caught in UK waters contain plastic. Marine biologists have been looking into the microplastics that fish end up eating. Imogen Napper's research has already influenced the government to ban microbeads in toiletries.
I've been able to find out some quite interesting results. So in terms of microbeads in facial scrubs, we found that there could be up to 3 million in one bottle, so there could be up to 10,000 on a squirt on your hand.
In Imogen's current research, she has proven that we all contribute to the plastic pollution problem by washing our clothes.
We found that washing our clothes could release up to 700,000 fibres, and like the microbeads, they could go down the drain, through the sewage treatment works, and potentially into our oceans.
Imogen collects fibres which have escaped the washing machine to find out what clothes they have come from.
This is called an FTIR, so Fourier transformation infrared spectroscopy. It's basically getting the fingerprint of what plastic is, so we can know whether it's polyester compared to acrylic.
By doing this, she's trying to find a solution. Currently, Imogen is working with Sky Ocean and National Geographic to build an invention to prevent this microfiber contamination.
So from the washing machine, all of the water is going to go into this tank. It's then going to be pumped into a filter housing that has a really fine mesh, and that mesh is going to capture all of the fibres before it goes into the wastewater and through the sewage treatment plants.
I think research like Imogen's is really important, because without it, we would have never have known we were scrubbing our faces with plastic. What else is damaging the marine environment that we are doing that we didn't even realise? Who knew that washing our clothes could be such a huge issue? Clothing fibres needed research to be found, but another microplastic is going unnoticed and taking over beaches across the south. Nurdles. These small pellets are used in plastic manufacturing. Over 53 billion of them are thought to be released into the UK environment every year, with over 131,000 being picked up from one beach in Cornwall. Bianca Carr is the founder of a local environmental group and has been struggling with the nurdle problem on a nearby beach.
We have had an astonishing problem. We've got to the point where we are struggling to clean them up. We need some sort of new innovative technology that's going to help us do that. We've found a trommel, which is a big drum, and as you spin the drum, things will fall through. So we're hopefully leaving then the natural products behind, and we're taking away the plastics of all different sizes. So the nurdles, microplastics, other things like that. And that is coming in a couple of weeks, and we're quite excited to try out the trommel. Look down here, look at this bit. Look at that.
I came back to see if the new trommel would work how Bianca had hoped and filters out all the natural beach material, leaving her with a collection of microplastics.
Let's do it. We've got stones here, but we've also got quite a lot of nurdles. Collecting that bit there is a lot quicker than sitting there and picking them up by hand. Absolutely. Trying to pick these up. We spent a whole day with a local school, so we had lots of nice little fingers, and we picked up 7,000 nurdles, and it made no difference whatsoever. The place was still an astonishing mess. But just doing that, just there and then, that's really cool.
Although this new tool is exciting, there is only so much the general public can do.
Litter picking, beach cleans, all of that is so important, but the whole ownership of this really does rely on the manufacturers and the government to make these changes, because physically we can't pick all of this up. We just can't. We could keep going and going and going, but the amount that is emptied into the ocean every day, we are fighting a losing battle.
Our coastline is fast becoming a plastic soup. Microplastics and fishing nets are contaminating our waters from Portsmouth to Penzance. It might take higher authorities to turn off this plastic tap, but we can all keep on fighting until the coast is clear.